Well, welcome everybody to a special live video edition of the Omaha Bar Association Bar Talk podcast. I'm Dave Summers, Executive Director of the Omaha Bar Association. I am here today with Patrick McNamara of Goosmann Law. Hello, Patrick.
Hey, Dave. Thank you for having me.
I also have on the Zoom teleconference here, Joe Bradley of Bradley Law. Hello, Joe.
Dave, always a pleasure.
Now, I think this will go back and forth between us. Right now, I'm seeing everybody else. I don't know if on the Facebook live stream, if they're seeing anybody other than Joe right now. But we'll just
switching to whoever has.
That's what
it's switching to whoever's speaking.
Got it. Okay. Well, so we are today doing a video version of our usual Bar Talk podcast because we're working remotely from home. I'm in my home office here with the Omaha Bar Association banner behind me. Patrick, looks like you're at your dining room table.
Yeah, my wife has about 2 weeks ago claimed the home office, so I'm on the outskirts. But I like it better out here. There's better light.
Sure.
You won that argument because you're in the better spot. And Joe, you have a lovely wall behind you. Are you in a closet?
I am in what I'm in, Dave, is the only quiet part of my house. I am home with my two oldest children today, and I have been Professor Joe all day, so I had to find the one room that would not have screaming in it. So that's this room.
And let's talk a little bit about that. You're homeschooling your kids, not by choice, but by fiat.
So
how's that going?
It's not great. The way the Bradleys are doing it is I stay home one day of the week, Allie stays home one day of the week, and the other days the kids are with my parents who live in town. And they're super nice. I'd hope to give them more of a hard knocks type education, but Allie, who is really smart, has drawn up a detailed lesson plan that I am not to get away from. So that's great.
And the kids are enjoying this experience. Are they also saying they want to get back to school?
I think they definitely want to get back to school, but I think they enjoy the Joe Bradley school experience. There is book learning, but then, I throw in probably more snacks than they get at a usual school day. Definitely a lot more video games than they would normally get. So it's popular.
And so I guess we have to say this is live on Friday, March 27th, not in place of the ethics seminar, which was supposed to happen this afternoon, but at the same time that you'd be sitting down to hear Professor Severson and Mark Weber talk about ethics, you're getting us three on the web today. So we will do that ethics seminar later on this year, but this is our fill-in for the day. I have to say, Zoom's pretty slick here. Do you guys use any other video conferencing services in your working from home, working remotely?
Well, no, I mean, so the bulk of my communication is still just phone and email. We've had a number of meetings that have all been phone. Somebody tried to do Zoom, but I don't think they set it up right. And then I do a lot of work in Douglas County Juvenile Court, and they've moved to a lot of phone hearings. I wish they would move to Zoom because these would be like phone hearings with like 10 participants and no one knows when to talk, and it's not great.
Yeah, there's something lost because you can only have one person talking at a time. You can't see somebody's raising a hand, somebody wants to talk next, what their emotions are, right?
Yeah, we use, sorry to interrupt. It seems like Zoom seems to be the major player here. I guess a lot of my video with clientele right now has been through Zoom. The firm uses Microsoft Teams, which I believe we can send invites to non-Teams users for like a one-time only conference call, and then socially FaceTime for the most.
Yeah, I guess Patrick, you and I have FaceTimed, and I mean the video quality is great on that. I mean, just for those who are interested in the usability of this, I'm hosting this, so I can share my screen. I can show you what I'm working on my desktop. I can do a poll. I can draw on a virtual screen. I can actually break off people in groups, right? So if we want to do that, I mean, it's got a lot of functionality.
We did a break off in this kind of a mastermind group. It's called, there's a number of chapters now, KAADA, weekly lunches. And yesterday we broke off into small groups, and they just set a timer of like 15 minutes to be in the small groups. And then it kicked everyone back into the main group after the 15 minutes were over.
Yeah. And so it's got a lot of functionality, I think, for most users above the free level, which I think limits, 40 minutes per chat. But for the extended version that you'd want as a business, it appears to be about $20 a month. And you have the ability to record, which is nice, right? That you can record that, share that with people in case they didn't make the meeting and things like that. So not that we're sponsored by Zoom here, but it seems to be the play.
I don't think they need our help these days.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they just had a massive valuation, I saw.
So Patrick, you posted on Facebook maybe yesterday about some tips on how to look your best, be the most professional in this video conference setting. Can you share some of that wisdom with us?
Sure. No, I think it's important. Obviously, we're all doing a lot more of this than we had in the past, and you can tell when you're on a person Zoom call who put an effort or thought about what their camera looks like, what their audio sounds like, what their background looks like. Obviously, if you can only find one quiet spot in the house, that makes it as to where what you can and can't do.
Well, here, I can put in some fun background here. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, that's fun. I did Memorial Stadium the other day.
No, that didn't work. Never mind. Never mind. I realized I don't have any cool pictures.
Well, and that's one of the things I've had some issue with needing a green screen behind me. So I actually purchased a green screen, so then I can be anywhere in the world, so that my background can be.
No, it's funny you say that, because my brother's an attorney in Palo Alto, and they've been locked down longer than we have. And I've seen his workstation. It's literally, he's got a stool and a table, and he's put a blue tarp behind him so he can throw up whatever backgrounds he wants for whatever meetings, because his 3 kids and his wife are all in that very tiny house, and they're not going anywhere. So
Well, and one thing, Patrick, I think you may have some lighting assist going on right now. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I bought a light on Amazon. It was $12, and I thought, why not? Since we're going to be on camera all the time now.
And these little details,
you're all welcome.
They mean something, right? I mean, you're making an impression. As we know, people think a lot about first impressions, and if you're doing a first initial consult via video, they're going to make an impression based on how you look, the quality of background, and overhead lighting like I do right now. It's not the best. So your sort of glamour mirror lighting is coming through very nicely.
I can show it to you. And I do think it's important, especially if you're talking to clients or anyone new that you're working with, because it shows you're putting thought into the decisions you make. And we do the same thing as practitioners in our cases when we want to call someone, what we want to talk about. It's all part of kind of a complete finished product. So I do think it shows off. I mean, I could use anything to make people think I know what I'm doing. So this is the light. Can you?
It's looking good. It's looking real good.
It looks like a little. Oh yeah, circuit. Yeah.
Yeah, clips onto your phone or your laptop.
And another little tip: so you have one earbud in, and you're kind of turning your head a little bit, so you can't even see the one earbud. So it just looks like you're just chatting with us without anything.
noticed a lot of people have Zoom on their laptops, and if you just have the computer audio playing what's going on in the Zoom call, but then also listening, having the microphone on to hear what you have to say, there's a lot of reverb and echo that if you wear a set of earbuds or one earbud, you can pretty much eliminate altogether.
Yeah. Joe, you've been using Google Voice for a while, and I just had 2 days ago an attorney talk to me about, well, what happens when I'm forwarding all my my work calls to my home cell, and I don't want people to have my home cell, and I can't turn it off and things like that. And I'm thinking Google Voice is great, and you've been using it for years.
Oh no,
for your office.
I know a number of especially like government workers who they're being told to work from home some days, come in some days, and so they have obviously a physical phone. They haven't been using Google Voice, so now they are on their government voicemail having it direct them to their Google Voice number so that they can more seamlessly work from home. Because without that, without that, it's essentially them just calling back to check their voicemails 10,000 times a day, which would get old pretty fast.
Yeah, and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
It works on your phone. It's seamless. I mean, it should be something that everyone's looking at, because just having your home cell,
right? No,
problem with
it allows you to screen out the we'll say the clients that don't need to talk to you right now, and it transcribes the voicemail, and most importantly, at the end of the day, you hit that do not disturb button, and your work day is done.
Joe, the transcription service provided by Google Voice, always spot on?
No, it's dicey. Usually about once a week, I'll post something on social media, like my favorite mistranslated one voicemail, and usually it's something like, "Joe, I hate you. Call me back." Now, sometimes they are saying they hate me, but usually it's some funny, like, mixed up message.
Now, how's it going working from home? We're unique, the three of us, because we're somewhat unique, I guess, because we're married to attorneys. We're households of two attorneys, both working, and so we're both doing the same work, legal work, and trying to work from home. And how's that balance going? I'll go last.
Mac Attack, what do you say?
Sure. Well, I mean, before we went live, we were talking about where we were all situated in our homes, and my wife, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, claimed the home office. I was happy. She works very diligently in there. Pace around the kitchen table. I've pretty much set up a permanent desk at the kitchen table now. Setting boundaries. One thing I've noticed is our walls are not thick enough for this type of arrangement to last for a very long time, because I got an email the other day that said, "You're talking very loudly on the phone." So I think more insulated the walls to the office potential. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, having a work day, like we like to get up, work out in the morning. She does more than me, but just kind of getting up. Typically, I put shoes on, and it's like I'm actually going to it. That's not every day. I think it's important every day to do your best to keep the normal work day and a normal schedule, and get through as much as possible. But it is tough, probably with kids running all around the place and having to teach classes. To home and know you can do laundry or clean up the kitchen or vacuum or not do any of those things and just watch Netflix. So you constantly have to push yourself into work mode and try and at least have somewhat separation between personal life and work life while you're sitting at your house for like 4 days now.
We see, and I'm lucky. So most days I'm still able to go into my office in Benson, but I find I'm about the last person there anymore. So it actually feels safer than being at home because it's just me there by myself all day. The part where it feels dicey is going to the courthouse these days. I mean, I feel like I want to be the boy in the bubble when I walk into that place. Because we had a gal come in and it was one of those where I'm sure you all got the same order I did from the Chief Justice, who said, it's up to us to screen these clients. And one of my co-defendants had told their attorney that they'd just been in the hospital for pneumonia and, had some concerning symptoms. And so we told the judge and they said, no, you still got to come in. So we kind of thought outside the box and we all sat far apart in the courtroom. And then we had the clients sit in the gallery. And basically anytime they needed to talk to us, we would just pause the trial and clear the courtroom and talk to them. Because I'm like, you're doing great. I'm going to represent you, but you will not approach me in any way.
And there's a reason that we need to be in the court. We can't necessarily do everything, via video. There's something that can only be found in person, and maybe especially in criminal matters, right? We have constitutional rights here that need to be protected.
Right. Well, no, my suspicion is this: if somehow we're able to go back to, quote unquote normal in the next couple weeks, I think we'll just kind of keep hobbling along like we are. If not, I think the court's going to have to make some big decisions and big changes. Because if the numbers continue to go up of infected, it's only going to get more dangerous for both our clients and ourselves to appear in court. So I don't know if the answer is telephonic, because that's got a lot of problems. I don't know if the answer is Zoom, because then what do I assume that all of my indigent clients have access to a smartphone and a data plan? I don't know what the answer is.
Yep. Yeah, and there's such a balance between the courts wanting to, number one, obviously, protection of constitutional rights is paramount and needs to be done, and there needs to be a lot of efforts taken to make sure those rights are protected. But just on general civil matters, I've seen a balance between judges, or a range between judges, saying let's just kick all these dates out 60 days, to judges that are saying, hey, we've got to deal with this. There's going to be a tremendous backlog if we just keep pushing everything off. So let's get through it as best we can, and we'll make arrangements and determinations on a case-by-case basis. And I can respect, obviously, both of those points of view, and I understand both of them. It's when I had an evidentiary hearing with a fair amount of exhibits, and we were trying to do it by phone, and I ended up continuing it because I was like, this is just difficult mechanically to make happen.
Well, and it's tough because, again, the bulk of my practice is juvenile court, and the problem up there is, our practice has got some very strict statutory dates, and so if a child has been out of the home 15 of the last 22 months, the state has to file a motion to terminate parental rights, and it doesn't say anything about if COVID-19 has run rampant through the country, right? And so it's, my concern is, too many judges kind of push the pause button on these cases. We kick them out 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then we come back and they go, man, this case really got away from us. Oh, well, now we have to terminate your rights. Oh no, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we did record yesterday, and it'll be playing here soon on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that. An interview with Horatio Wheelock, judge of Douglas County District Court, talking a bit about the nuts and bolts of what's going on and what the implications are. And so it's great to get that view from the bench, and that'll be one of our upcoming ones. So
I like that Judge Wheelock has been innovative in terms of appearing in court on the screen. I would prefer if they put the monitor on a mannequin body with a bow tie on the mannequin body. So we got the full Judge Wheelock experience.
In the interview, he said he's missing the jujitsu part of his day that really brought him zen and away from work. So I think he gets out of the self-isolation quarantine where he really can't leave his house today. So
Exciting.
yeah. So let's see. We've gone over tips. We've gone over day in the life of. I'm very excited that we haven't seen. Well, actually, it'd be good if we had some Joe Bradley kids running in the background, so it could be.
Well, no,
something.
the only here's a fun cameo. We do have one special guest. Mr. Milo has been napped throughout here. This is also the only room where he's able to get away from the children. So
what type of dog is Milo?
Milo, he used to be a beagle. Now he's mostly just a big lump.
Well, and I have to say, Hector, our Chihuahua, he no longer whines when we're on the phone or using our professional voices. He's adjusted a bit. Where for the first couple of days it was a nightmare to do any calls or video conferences. He's finally figuring it out too. And Patrick, you have a dog.
Yeah, Molly, the dogs are definitely starting to settle in. It was a lot of toe stepping, I think, when we all first started this. They're just not used to us being around so much, and also ignoring them. Like trying to sit at this table, which I know it's not the home office, and it's fine. I like it out here, obviously. But
keep on referencing it. That means that, yeah, exactly.
But the dog would not leave me alone.
The amount of times that you have said fine makes me believe you that it must be totally fine.
No, I like it out here. I do.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. So here's my thought going forward, guys. We're gonna convene the kitchen table group of us. Hopefully Jordan Holst can round it out as she's done on the podcast in the past. But let's also get some other members of the community in and pick their brain on how they're doing in this scenario, what we can do to help each other.
Well, and the beauty of this, if we ask them to be on the podcast, we literally know that they're not busy and doing anything. So, so sorry, fancy attorneys in town, we got your number.
Well, and it's always good to know what's going on behind them, right? I mean, this is a new level. Like, show me what's going on inside your house.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's our first Facebook Live video. We're going to log off for now, but thanks everybody for joining this live broadcast. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.